moderation, but don't do it in moderation. The lies of a gluttonous generation. 10-year-old girls walking around with their cheeks out, I'm uncomfortable. These designers turning our girls out. Wrongs become right and rights become weird. Satan is cheered. How in the hell did we get here? Bush birthed Obama gave us Trump. I ain't afraid of him. All I'm saying, something's coming. It's a plan.
Welcome to the Shop Uncut. We have three lovely ladies here. While we go in, so you already know this is we're out here trying to find out the truth about love, life, all those kinds of situations, and hopefully you can use this to become a better person. But let's go and get this started. You already know how it goes, so why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Trinae, Shichole. I have a YouTube platform called 90 Golden Squad, and I also go to school.
Okay. And your new relationship status?
It's complicated.
Okay. All right. I think we've had some changes, but we're still gonna find out.
Yes. Hi, my name is Jessica. I don't have social media, so I've shared that before. I will soon. I do case management and currently working on getting my real estate license, and also starting a perfume and cologne oil-based business. And since being on the last episode, I am in a relationship.
I think I take some credit, a little slight lightweight for that. Yeah. So I'm good. That's the type of thing I'm trying to do, is just like change our thinking on how we see things, and maybe that can improve our lives. So anything I can do, like I look at things like you can't change the world, but you can change things one person at a time, even if it's just a little bit. So. And I want you guys to know that I've been influenced, and that's going to go into with the shows today. But last but not least, for now.
Yeah, hi, I'm Sierra. I have your standard, social media platforms. Right now, I'm and I'm single.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like happily single.
I mean, sometimes you want to be single, sometimes you don't. Right now, I don't want to.
Hey, it's about to be summertime.
Yeah.
Maybe when it comes winter, right?
Yeah.
When you're not going to get bundled up. So today, actually, this is an important topic to me. It was brought to me by Trinity. She's supposed to be here a little bit later. But what we're going to be talking about is branding. So I'm going to start off. I want you guys to think of 3 words that describe you. Okay? And let's start off. So about 2 years ago, one of my good friends, Trina, got this for me. And when she didn't tell me what she was doing, but when she did it, she was just like, give me 3 words that describe you. And so what my words were that describe me were ambitious, insatiable, and giving. So I'm ambitious, like I'm trying to eat, I'm trying to get it. And insatiable, if you don't know what that means, that's like you're not going to be satisfied. So once I make $1 million, I'm not going to be happy with that. Once I get to 2 million, it ain't going to be enough. And it doesn't mean that I'm greedy. It just means that I have an appetite for certain things that I call greatness. Like, it's not about the money, but the money is an indication of the success. That's like a way you can put a number on success. Like if I'm doing what I'm doing right now and I'm only making $10, that's probably an indication that I'm not doing too well. But if I'm bringing in racks a month, then it's an indication that I have my views and things going. But to the branding, let's start off with the words. You ready to go? The words that describe you.
I would say determined, ambitious,
and worthy. That's dope. I like that.
Yeah, I would say I would say one of my words is determined for sure. Loving and compassionate.
I'm motivated, I'm loyal, and I'm playful.
Playful?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. So, when it comes to branding is not always what you want it to be, but branding is what others see about you. This goes for you personally or business-wise. So that's why it's kind of important of how we brand ourselves, even as people. I was watching this show. Actually, it was a clip from Chappelle, and what he did a joke, And how it started was, he's like, say there's a man at the bar, right? And then he sees a woman, and she has her breasts hanging out, her booty hanging out, and everything like that. So he might have a few drinks in him, and he says, damn, look at that ass. And then she's, how dare you talk to me? I am not a hoe, sir. And so he like it into, he's like, say I was out on the street, I'm in my police uniform and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, hey, can you help me? Can you help me? Some woman runs up, and then they said, how dare you talk to me like that? Just because I'm in a police officer's outfit doesn't mean I'm a police officer. And he said, so the same thing goes. I understand, just because you dress like it doesn't mean you're a hoe, but you should have got on the hoe's uniform. So, so that's how it goes with things. So we have to do our best to present who we are to whoever. What do you think about all that? You got what to say?
I mean, like you said, you can't judge a book by its cover, basically. Like, it's beyond that.
You can't, but that's what we all can do. It's honestly, it's like a safety mechanism, don't you think? Like if I go down a dark alley and I see some dude sagging and selling, whatever, looking a certain way, it's probably not the alley I want to walk down, don't you think? So, what do you say?
I think I'm kind of in the middle. I think that I believe that you should be able to wear what you want to wear and not. People are going to make assumptions, but I think that I don't think that means that a man should just assume that you're a hoe and you're willing to give something up. But I do think that, like, in reality, people are, like, the first thing we see is what you look like, and how you're presenting yourself. So I think it's natural for people to make assumptions. I think maybe less about what we're wearing, but more about how we carry ourselves. I do think that's our brand, how we show up, how people experience us. I do, think that's true.
My homie this weekend, he said, how I meet you is how I treat you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's real talk. So he was saying, exactly, said, if I meet you in the club, then I'm going to treat you like a club female. I'm not going to take you serious. If I meet you, like, say I meet you at a meeting, then that's what I'm going to treat you. If I meet you at church, then that's what I'm going to treat you unless I see something different. Or let's say a mosque, whatever. Yeah, what do you say about all that?
Honestly, for me, like, the world, it's about, your perception and sensation. So they're both connected. So I mean, if you perceive somebody a certain way, it's going to give you those certain sensations. And it doesn't matter how you think people should treat you. And the reality of life, we all kind of have the same perception, like a base perception on things. So if you're looking a certain way, you automatically people are going to think a certain way. And if you make them feel a certain way, they're going to treat you, and make them feel and how they see you. So it doesn't matter what you are inside of, what kind of person you are inside. Nobody can see that. You know what I mean? People are seeing what they see. So
yeah, I look at it like we all have two sides of us. Like for me personally, I have what they call a hood side, slight hood, just a little bit hood, not major or nothing like that. Then I have this other side. But so I can't, just because I act a certain way, say at work or whatever it may be, doesn't mean that I'm being fake or anything like that. Like some people will be like, I'm keeping it real, man. I ain't gonna do this. I ain't gonna, like anybody that goes to a job interview and just wants to, what's up, nigga? Hey, man, I need to get this cash, dog. It's like, if you present that to yourself, don't expect to get a job, dog. You better button up and, hey, I'm Jabari Hayes. I've been working here, and, you gotta change it up a little bit. But it doesn't mean you're fake. But I think a lot of times our demographic, I don't know how to say it. You like got the word for me? Huh? The demographic, that'll work? Okay, the demographic. We have a tendency to think that you're supposed to be creative. Like we branded ourselves, really. You know what I'm saying? So I was in the shop, had a stylist and a barber here. So I'm using, like, I got a little bit of capital, not major, nothing like that, but not little. But I said something about stupendous. And dude was like, man, you gotta get beat up to do a couple like that. And I'm like, you can't even cop a certain way sometimes, or they say that you're not black, or not black enough. Or think about this, we tend to, like, we'll throw a party for someone that gets out of jail, but the person that graduates, they're not always getting the party. Does that make sense? It's kind of odd. So that's why I say like we kind of brand ourselves sometimes. Like, what do you think about when you hear people say, like, you get an image of us? What do you think of us? Of us as a people.
I mean, everybody's different. So
So
you can't just judge you can't judge
The whole
everyone
group.
based on one person.
So do you say in the world, when the world looks at us, what do you think the image is? That's what I should say. What do you think the world is? I'm sorry, putting you on the spot.
Like, look at us black people.
As the people, yeah.
I don't know. I think they look down on us here. Like, we're not as capable as we are.
It's kind of like a loop to me. Like, they put us down, but at the same time, what are we putting out as a people? For this shop, personally, what I'm created this shop for, because I want it to be something different. I want it to be this, like, in the neighborhood I grew up in, but I want it to be something different. So that's why I have this thing where I try not to have any family condition. You know what I mean? Because that's what my brand, that's what my brand wants. I want it to be related. As far as the show, I want the brand for the show to be something that gives people value. And I know you're coming up with a product. Have you ever thought about how you want it to be seen?
Definitely. I think, I've been working on it for a while. For me, like, I want it to be a quality. I've been having conversations with different people that are in business, doing real estate, different things. And branding is a big topic that, we were just talking about, like, as Black people compared to, like, other cultures, white people who are really starting businesses and doing it well and making money, and, like, what is the difference with us? And not that a lot of us aren't successful, because we are, but I think, what we came to was execution. I know for me, initially, it was like, okay, I'm going to put my perfume and cologne out. I'm just keep it simple, have little simple, like, bottles, and just try to sell it. I think where I'm at today is, like, I really want to grow my capital so I can really put a quality product out. I want my bottles to be of quality. I want the labeling. I want to execute it. I don't want to just do it. I want to do it well. And so, initially my goal was that being my main focus. Now it really is real estate, getting into the Airbnb market so I can make capital to then put into my business, to really have it look like what I wanted to. And so focusing again, like, on execution, not just doing things. I think we missed the mark with, like, okay, I'm doing this thing, but let me execute it. I want it to be excellent. And not perfect, but, like, I'm really, this is a quality product. So, yeah.
But sometimes, have you heard of and I'm not saying this is you or not, but there's this thing called procrastination. What is it called?
Absolutely, procrastination.
Analysis paralysis. When you spend so much time trying to get things right that it never comes out. As a matter of fact, so I got this, I was reading on YouTube, I was reading comments, and this dude was like, it was cool, but he was like judging the show. And I'm like, if you judge from the first show to now, then you see a lot of growth. But he was like, man, you need to have, like, this done and so. So I'm like, man, we're growing. So, but, like, we're gonna reach there, but the important thing sometimes is to start. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think it's different. With the product, I think it's different. Now, something like, I get that. And I think even with that, I could decide to just, I think for me, like I said, there's just a certain look that I want. And I get, like, it's not going to be perfect, I'm sure, in time. I'm going to start with the simple, collection. Then the hope is that grows. So I definitely get the idea of things growing as you go. I think, again, for me, like, I just want to execute it. I don't want to just put something out to say, like, I'm doing it. I want to, like, really do it. So.
Yeah, I've been trying to, like I said, the show, even thinking about the show helped me. I'm sitting there thinking about what am I trying to project to everybody. So I've changed my whole game up. Like, I almost gave up on the thing of no cussing anymore. Because it's hard. Everybody want to come in here. And honestly, they think, because this is the crazy part to me, because it's an African American barbershop, they think that there should be cussing, there should be smoking, there should be all these things. It's kind of weird to me. It's like you were saying, but not just one type. So yeah, there's that aspect in us, and there's that aspect in every demographic. But we're also this. But it's like it's weird. Like if you think of Asians, do you think of anything? Like is there a stereotype that you think of? Real shit. There's been branding, huh?
Trying to get people canceled.
How you gonna bring it? Actually, I am gonna bring up some things. So when nobody gonna say nothing?
Yeah, when I think of Asians, I think of money, fish, and cigarettes.
Fish and cigarettes?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm like,
I was like,
Oh my gosh. Hold on. You think? Oh my gosh.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
of money. I know. No, I'm not in the bracket where I can afford, but I happen to be in Bellevue, and me and my mom just was roaming. We went into Gucci to this window shop, and everybody in that store was Asian, like money, and they were spending it. So yeah, I mean, you see them, the businesses that they're creating, they're bringing in.
They are.
They definitely have capital for real. So, yeah.
So. I'm so sorry I did this. So sorry to myself and everybody else, but when I think of Asian, I think of good math, bad driving, then yeah, that's and casinos.
Mhm.
Man, anybody go to the casinos?
Sometimes.
How like them? I swear, I see a lot just ready to give their life. So what you're saying is like they be having money. Because how are you going to be at the whatever table, all blackjack table all night and losing night after night? But they got it. So that's what's up. So when I think of, let's think of another. I don't know if I should do this.
let's not do this.
Let's not do this.
Cancel.
Yeah.
It's all on me. It's all on me. But it's real. It's like how people have been branded. Indians are the regular Indians are the.
Natives?
Stop. I probably should, but nah, they, good math. I don't know. You gotta, yeah, but keep on going. And I probably shouldn't, but oh well. It is what it is, right? But so, they have the thing of they're really technical as far as like on computers and stuff like that. That's what I get. And this is what I'm leading to is a lot of them, they have like these positive brands. And I want that for us. The brands that we get, I think, are things like basketball. How many of us want to be a rapper? You know what I'm saying? But how many people want to be a doctor or a lawyer? I don't know. You know, we tend to gravitate to entertainment, a little bit like that. Those tend to be our heroes. I don't think we have any heroes anymore.
To be honest with you, I feel like Black people, as a whole, I think all of us have magic in us. You know what I mean? Like we're super persistent and we grind. Like we make something happen, no matter what situation we're in. We'll turn it into something else. You know what I mean? And I feel like over the years of history, right? It's just like the oppression and all that stuff has really, like beat us down and turned our mental state into what it is today, where people are just thugging and they're doing stuff. You know, they're not using their magic in the right way. But I see so many people, with so much talent.
So much capability. So this is who was it? Someone was saying, like, so Africa is the cradle of creation, right? So they were saying that while we have the whole monolith, like we have the best and the worst. But what there was this, it's some museum or something like that. So when you go to a museum, when they have the white guy, they have his brain. And then when it comes to the African dude, they had his private part in a jar. So they're forgetting, like, we also, like Ethiopia, they had the first library. We've had the greatest minds, but that never gets highlighted. We've apparently had, like, the richest person allegedly in history. What's his name? Masa Musa, right? Did all these great things, but we don't hear about them. But what we do hear about is the rapper, the killers, like in Africa, how we have the people that are leaders of tribes just taking over, stuff like that. Not very often, but we have to start singing our own praise. You know what I mean? That's my whole point. Like the branding, it's up to us to brand ourselves. Like if people are putting out the bad message, like if you go on TikTok, what you see a woman on the table twerking and stuff like that, because that's what we're putting out. So the question is like, how much is it for us to combat that? Should we even combat it? Like I don't know, because it's right for somebody to be themselves, but go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. So what I don't think it's demographic. It's just demographically. I think it's like as a whole, because I'm like really into like science and the force and stuff like that. And so I see people that make more money, spreading their legs on Pornhub and, like stuff like that. Like they have, like everybody knows these people, but you don't see our top scientists. Like we have top women scientists out there that, have discovered things and made world history, and we don't know anything about it. And it's because the human mind nowadays is so lazy. Like we're ready to just instant gratification or whatever. The easiest thing in our minds is like our dopamine sensors and stuff like that. Like, so that's what we cling to. We don't want to sit here and have to actually think about stuff. So that's why we turn to whatever's easiest. And it's really sad. It's not just for Black people, but it's for people who work hard out there and don't get recognized, like anything like that. It's just backwards.
So how do we change the branding though? Because I'm like this. I'll have people. There'll be people that are saying, "Yeah, I want to see us be positive, and I want to see us in a certain light, etc." But then all they're playing with their kids in the back seat is, what's your name, Little Red? What?
Sexy Red.
Sexy Red and Nicki Minaj like that. And it's like if you're doing that, like even though you don't know it, you're telling your kids what the brand is, and you're not only telling them that, but no matter how you say you shouldn't talk like that, and you shouldn't do like that, you're telling them every day by playing that music. So how do we combat that?
I mean, I think that it starts with each individual person, because I think what I've learned today is like, I think that we can do our part to help the world, but I don't think that we can change it entirely. And maybe I think if we did start with ourselves individually, that could become a thing, And I agree with you that like, I think a lot of it is like, we're just not seeing, like, I think it's a systematic thing. Like, they're not going to show us all of the ones of us that are out here, like, doing it and doing amazing things, and these young Black people that are getting scholarships and to Harvard and multiple, just doing amazing things, scientists, just all of these. We're not being recognized for that. What's being highlighted is the sexy reds and it's what sells, unfortunately. And that's why I think that it really starts with us, because I can't control what's on social media. I can't control what I'm consuming. Right. I can't control what I'm feeding my mind, and not that anything is wrong with that. Because her songs can be catchy too. Like me focusing on what my brain is gonna be, not expecting like us as a whole to change that for me. I gotta decide what my brain is gonna be and what I want that to look like.
So let me ask you, should we speak up? Like if we see, because back in the day, like we had, I talked about it yesterday, but we used to have community to where like you walk down the street and you might have Miss Jones down the street saying, pull your pants up, or boy, you better do this and better do that. We used to have kids playing in the street. We used to talk to each other. Now that's gone. So what do we do now? You don't know? So I'm asking you, do you speak up, or do you let people be by themselves? Do you like, hey, she wants to do this and that, so be it, mind your own business?
No, you're supposed to speak up. That's the thing, and that's the problem. Everyone's like, whoever started that do for yourself or be for yourself now, it's like, whoever did that was stupid.
They said, I didn't hear that.
Somebody, like, now everyone's like for themselves.
Yeah, it is.
So, and everyone is supposed to be together and come together, like you said. If someone's doing the wrong thing, you're supposed to help correct them, like they say. It takes a village to raise a person, so it's just, the world is just fucked up now.
Well, we're not. Who's raising our kids? This is a blanket question for all of y'all. Like, for real talk, who do you feel is raising our kids?
Social media.
Social media ain't raising my kids. I'm raising my kids. They're not sitting on a tablet and stuff like that.
What do you like? They don't get no screen time?
They do get a little bit of screen time, but it's literally for learning. Like I Duolingo and stuff like that. But I don't let them sit on the TV and watch YouTube and stuff. I don't do that.
That's all right, man. My daughter, like, she's 6 years old, but I'll put it on the alphabet, and then the next thing I know, it's on some. Like, she likes the little like squishing, like, you know what I'm saying, all the squishing things. Yeah, like she always. I don't. It's crazy how they know technology like that now. Because I'm like, it should not be nowhere in the thing, but somehow she's searching through. Let me turn my back, and every time it's on nonsense. I try to control it, but the problem that we have these days is that we are so busy, like, working. So how can you raise your kids? You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, for 8 hours a day, they're going to be in someone else's hands and subjected to their friends who may not have those things in place that you do. So, like, I understand you saying raise them, but at the same time, they are going to get super influenced from what goes out there. Or how do you control that?
Well, for me, I mean, there's always going to be outside factors to everyone's life because we're not stuck in one place, right? But honestly, your parents, and more so your mom, is what resonates most with you as you grow up. You know, your mom is, you know, you're most connected with your mom. So if your mom is showing you a certain way, those are the ways that you're acting as you grow up, and that's what you're going to, you know, show out into the world. And then if you're teaching your kids and showing them that you're doing right, they're just, you know, naturally going to grow up knowing and feeling what's right and what's wrong, and they're going to lean towards that because that's what they're comfortable with.
So I was gonna bring up this thing. So you were saying before that they're pushing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is it them pushing it, or is it that we're consuming it?
Well, it's both. It's that they're pushing it, but it's that we're consuming it. You know, and it's algorithm. Like, again, it's what sells. It's what people want to see.
But I'm saying, like, are they really to blame for it?
Yes, I think it's a double-edged. Like, yes, and again, we have to control what we're like. It's up to us to decide what we're going to consume.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know for me, you know, it's the reason why I don't have social media. I don't. You know, I'm not saying that all parts of it is negative. I think that there's a lot of positivity on social media. I just know for me, it tends to affect me mentally, emotionally. Like, it just doesn't serve me as a person. You know, I get the benefits of it, and yeah, I think that it's about what we're deciding to consume. So I do think, yes, like they definitely have a huge part in that, but it's us. I'm opening my phone and looking at whatever I'm looking at. They're not forcing me to look at it.
Right.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick, like, it's literally, so everybody is their own person, right? It's your willpower. It's not about, like, everybody's just going with emotion and stuff like that. But if you look inside yourself and start doing some self, like, repair, I don't know what it's called, but start, like, working on yourself and finding yourself, you're going to have a strong will, and you're going to make sure that whatever you want done and whatever you want around you is going to come to you. You know what I mean? So you really have to be strong within yourself, and everything else will follow. So we just need to stop doing, you know, what's easiest and what everybody else is doing, and really figure out what you feel is good for you. It's not hard. It's really not.
So do you think that they're pushing it on us, or are we pushing it on ourselves?
Yeah,
All
we
these
push
things.
it on ourselves.
Really? So they're not responsible?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. They're giving, like, if I have a business, it's my job to give the people what they want. And but someone was saying that they felt like if it was black people running the music business, then all this music wouldn't be there. And I'm like, yes, it would, because they want to make that dollar. Like, I was gonna use Dig as an example, but no, I'm saying, but he fitted, like, whatever was hot at that moment. That's what he was doing. Same thing with Jay-Z. Well, actually, Jay-Z has changed that. He's gotten so rich. To me, I think he's changed. Like, he's gotten so rich where he's like, I don't need the money, so let me teach you, like, let me tell you how to market yourself, how to build businesses. He said, don't go into the block and sell drugs. He said, buy the block. You know what I'm saying? Go back home. So he's changing things, but he got money like that now. But it took him, when he was making his money, he was sitting there talking about selling drugs, going to parties, etc., etc. Right? So, I don't know. I really do believe that it's about, like, us. It boils down to us, what we're going to push. So, any final thoughts?
I got a lot that's going on, but I don't want to like.
Please do.
I don't know. Just lately, I'm in college, so lately I've been learning a lot in psychology and how you present yourself. So naturally, like even like linguistically, your accent will even determine where you're going to be in life, and that's not your fault. If you grow up with like a southern accent and you're trying to be in a certain position in life, it's going to be a little bit harder for you simply because of your accent. People are going to take it seriously, and that's not your fault, but that's just how the way of the world has turned itself to be. So you really have to push hard for what you want when you got certain things, naturally working against you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. What you said that made me think of Mike Tyson. Honestly, like I'm gonna eat your kids and all that. So with his accent, I swear he did this. With his accent, like even though he was use like words like my defense is impregnable and all stuff like that, he was using words. But because of the way he talked, I never thought he was intelligent until after he retired. Now, like I saw him do this whole presentation of a whole, like he was on the stage by himself just talking, and I'm like, this dude is really smart. And later on in life, I learned that you can't only get to that level of athleticism if you're smart, or that level of success in any field unless you're super intelligent. So we do have a tendency to judge people from their accent. Like if I hear a southern accent, I get a certain idea. If I hear an East Coast accent, I get a certain idea. If I hear someone from the West Coast, I get a certain idea from what they might. Well, that goes back into judging someone from their color, right? But our accent is something that we really can't control. But it has what you're saying is that it has an effect on whoever hears it.
Yeah, there's just so many parts of somebody's personality that'll, determine how hard or how easy it's going to be for you to make it where you want to go. And then it has to, it mixes with your willpower. So if you got the willpower to just, write out all that stuff, your chances of success are a lot greater.
I think that also goes to how powerful branding is. Also, and the reason I say that because just the accent, like that accent has got a brand put on it. You know what I mean? So that's crazy. What other things have you learned from your psychology class?
I don't know, a lot of things. Like right now, I'm learning about like your system one thing is our the first things we think of, when we do something. So our first reactions to things, and our system two processing is part of our brain where we have to process what we do, like a math problem or something. We have to process that. So humans like to use their system one processing more than their system two, and that just goes back to like, people don't like to have to figure things out.
They want it right in front of them.
Yeah.
And otherwise, it's like move on to the next one.
Yeah, everything like is so. Like it's just whatever's easiest is gonna make it nowadays. You know what I mean?
And you're in school too, right? What are you studying?
Business.
Business. That's what's up. Administration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I tried to. Well, I'm almost done with that. I didn't finish it.
I'm also getting my master's degree as well.
That's what's up. I did say that black women are the most educated. I don't know if that's the truth or not.
Yeah, they just hide our history from us. They don't want us to know that we're as smart and creative as we are. We're really like smarter than the white people.
Well,
they took what we had and made money off of it. Like we really created a lot of stuff. So.
I think, all of our history has been robbed and hidden. If we have, I was trying to remember, but our greatness has over years, like the Egyptians, they don't want to give us the credit for that. They say it must have been a Martian that built the pyramids and stuff like that. But,
There's money literally is inside our DNA. Like they try to buy our melanin, they try to buy our eggs, they try to buy our like all that stuff because there's something about us like we have it and they want it.
Shit.
but the cool part, we want, I'm not saying all of us, but we want what they have too.
A little bit.
A little bit. So,
We want that they have
What do
this
they have?
money.
what do they have?
That's it.
Well, I'm saying straight hair, right?
Oh, God.
No, I'm not telling nobody else, but straight hair do that there's a whole movement in Africa where they're trying to bleach their skin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it goes both ways. But now it doesn't even matter where you're at. It's been turning into a global village. So like we don't have the ability to be, we're influenced from everybody now. Like I look at Africa. Like I see a lot of videos go on my screen. Unfortunately now it's my job to be on social media. But I see them and they're looking and acting just like Americans. And I don't know if that's probably, you can call that progress, or is it the influence? It's just influence. And it's weird. And they're taking, I think a lot of the things that they see in African Americans that aren't the best of us. Does that make sense? So what is the best of us? I don't know.
We have a lot of, there's so much in us. I think it's exactly what they've been saying. And I think it goes back to it just being a systematic thing and it being hidden from us. Like we're only seeing the negative side. We're not seeing like they said that we really are magic, you know, that it is in our DNA, you know, that this is what we come from. Like we come from royalty, success, money, creativity, and there's so many of us out here doing it. So I think if they were actually publicizing that and we were seeing that, we would know those things, but it's just not being shown. And I think it's for good reason. I think, you know, they know that we are the majority. So they don't want us to know how great we are. They don't want us to know how powerful we are, because then that becomes a power play. Like, you know, if we all knew that we could band together, then what? You know, what would happen to them? You know, it's, to me, when I think about even politics with the abortion laws being changed, like that wasn't for no reason, you know, it's because you don't want us to keep procreating.
Well,
you know that we're the majority.
They just made it. We are going off topic, but it's very good. They just made it so there's no abortions. Well, in most states.
Well, that's what I'm saying. For me, what I guess
Does that make us have kids?
Well, absolutely.
So,
well, yes and no. I think the other side, I guess what I'm saying is they want their side to have more children because we are the majority. So I think that, I still think that it is like, it ties into the idea that, again, they just don't want us to know how powerful that we are. They don't want us to know that we really are the majority, you know?
well, majority worldwide, I'm assuming.
I think worldwide, yeah,
Worldwide.
absolutely.
But I don't know what our numbers are in America.
I don't think we'll ever know for sure. I don't think they'd ever tell us the truth about that.
I was talking to somebody and I was saying they have a natural fear of them being not us being them, but of them not being in existence anymore.
Well, that's my point.
Right.
That's
Because
wiping them out.
well, I mean, what they have, the one drop rule, they made it up, and now they like real. Now they're gonna live by it. Like we're all becoming one. So, like, yeah, I'm gonna give myself answer. But white is the absence of color, right? So once you put one drop in, then like you're something else. So they see what's happening by all of us, like their daughters are wanting to get with black men, and their sons wanting with black women, and such and such. Because when black women are truly, to me, the most beautiful women on earth, right? I think we all agree on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think that they have a fear, but they're kind of right about it. But that doesn't mean that the way. Right.
No, I agree with you.
But the way that they're going about it, like with all this moving up, like they're talking about having a civil war again. There's like a race war coming. I don't think that's going to come. But that's what they're warning us about. Do you think that it might come?
I think it's a possibility that it could. Yeah,
Honestly,
I could see it.
I think if Trump comes back in office, then I think that's when like I see a bigger divide than I've ever seen. Even when I was growing up, there didn't seem to be that big divide. But ever since Trump, I swear that it's just a fight between each other instead of us all looking like we're part of each other. On that note, I am actually gonna say goodbye to everybody, and we will pick this up again a little bit later. All right. Have a good day.
All I'm saying, something's coming, it's a plan.